This is a View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today's Tuesday, 10th of February, 2026. Big happy birthday to Jim Lynch. And my name is Patrick Smith. I'm joined by the Belfast Giants statistician, Mr. David McGimsey, and fresh back from his holiday, Mr. Simon Kitchen. Over the next hour, so we'll be bringing you all the news and views of the Belfast Giants and the Elite Ice Hockey League. You can get us live on X, YouTube, Facebook, and you can get us from all the really good podcast providers. If you're watching in live, the chat box is going on the side here. Get involved. You might see your stuff on screen. In this week's show, well, the Giants came from 4-0 down in Coventry to get the 2 points in overtime. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be looking at the win over the Fife Flyers, bit of player of the month, all our bits and pieces. And in just a moment time, we're going to be joined by our first of three guests. Bo Hanson will join us, followed by Jake Kupsky, and then Elijah Bariga. Davy, how you doing?
Not bad, bud. Not bad.
Good man. Simon, how's the holiday?
It was really good, mate. Bizarre. I was literally walking along the front of just outside Puerto de Carmen the other day, and this woman there was approaches and said, "There's Kitchy." Watches AVFTB, Giants fan. Lorna, I think her name was. What's that?
Can't go anywhere.
Watches AVFTB. Lorna, I think her daughter was Eva, and the husband was basically trailing behind with his mates. So there's the group of six of them all together. But watch AVFTB and big fans of the show. And they were. I'm not sure if they're home yet, but really, really good wee break. Quite a bit to do when I was away because we signed a couple of players and needed to get a few things sorted out for them while I was away. But no, Laura was run off her feet last week because I really couldn't be of much help. So big plaudits to Laura for sorting out. And Angela, between the two of them, they basically got all the work and all done after Steve and Adam had signed them. So, all good.
You know as well as anybody, mate, you can never really go on holiday.
You're 100% right.
On this job. I'm going to be leaning on you a little bit, boys. I'm sick as a dog. Been off work, just been absolutely dying. So let's see how this goes. But anyway, we'll come to the games against Fife and against Coventry, and of course the two signings, one of which will be joining us in a few moments. But let's start with our first one. A man who's no stranger to this show. Please welcome back Mr. Bo Hanson. How you doing, mate?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Not too bad. Let's start. Well, we're starting with the interview today, and then we'll come to the games. But let's start with that game just the other night against the Coventry Blaze. 4-0 down to pull it back to the 4-4 and then win it at overtime. That takes guts in a team.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It's a win that we're definitely happy with. We did not like our start in that first period at all, rightfully so. And that's something that we got to learn from, especially with that Coventry team. They got a lot of legs over there. They're good to start games, and that just kind of wakes us up. Hopefully we're ready to go for tomorrow. To get into the positives of that game, it shows that we don't quit. I really liked our second and third period, and I thought we took over the game about 5 minutes into the second period there, and it just shows that we have that championship caliber to push back, and we're not out of the fight. Down 4-0 to come back like that, and it was a great response from the fellas, and I think that's something that we can use for momentum moving forward.
Given the fact that we've played Coventry quite a bit and playing them even more now with the game tomorrow night and the following game the following week, it breeds that sort of familiarity in these matchups. So getting a win like that on the cusp of the semi-final must feel as a real confidence boost.
It's nice to know that we can win for sure, especially since we lost to them the time before. But the Challenge Cup and in these aggregate games, it's a whole different animal, right? These are even more so playoff hockey games. I think they're going to be much better. I think we need to be much better too. And that's just something that, you got to expect going into Cov. It's going to be a tough building to play in. And we got to be ready to go for tomorrow night.
Bo, very similar position for yourself the last season, and we're competitive in the league. We have a cup semi-final with the playoffs hopefully down the road. but you come more in a leadership role this season. You know, there's guys that have came into the locker room that haven't experienced won this league and the grind of every night being important, and they can lean on you now, even just your own defensive partner. You know, that's must slightly different for you this year.
Yeah, you know, last year being a new Giants player, you think you know what it takes to win, but we had such a great group of guys that have been through it before. Speaking of a couple of guys that left, like Mark Cooper and Jeff Baum, were both awesome guys that you could talk to and learn from. And last year playing with Rochi was fantastic. It's been too bad that he's been hurt this year. But my good buddy Reed has been a shining light on the back end, I think, for us. I like to think I've helped him out a little bit. You know, I tried to be nice to him, and, you know, we've known each other for a handful of years. We played a little bit together in Denver. So that was kind of an easy way for us to get, like, reacquainted. And I think I talked about it last time too. He talked to me when he was getting recruited here, and I hopefully sold Belfast as best as I could because he's here now. But we roomed together on the road. We play together in almost all the games so far. And I think that just builds our chemistry back there. Like, I trust the guy. I think he trusts me. And I think that just kind of helps us be that solid piece that Kiefer needs us on the back end.
Well, I think that's, you use the word trust. I think that's a really important part of it as well. You know, when you look at coming into January, you know, we went through, I think it was 6 or 7 games where we only conceded 1 goal. You know, defensively, we were really, really strong. And I don't want to say you've been babysitting Reid for the last 5 months, but I mean, you can see the kid has a talent. You can see that he's a really smart player. But it does, when you've got that trust with your defensive partner, it just makes the game a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Reid is such a great skater too. I want him to, like, I think we both skate well, but when he gets the puck too and he's feeling confident, like, he's a big boy and he's tough to get the puck from. When we're both going, I think we can be real difference makers in the game too. And that's a thing too. It's tough to bring it every single game in professional hockey. You know, you got bumps and bruises, you got travel. It's tough, you know, and that's something that it's tough to figure out your first year of pro. And I thought he's done a great job of it. And I think hopefully we can just keep getting better and keep growing together.
Obviously, league action, it takes a little bit of a break now. We've got a big game tomorrow night against who we're playing. Coventry. You know, you've got that opportunity to sort of not so much switch the way you play the game, but the first game is a really important part of that double header for the aggregate score.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you had a day off yesterday. You were back on the ice today. What's the mood like in the camp? What's the feeling heading into tomorrow's game?
I think the mood is fantastic. I think we've had a great kind of mindset to practice the past couple months even too, where, like, we come to work, we have a great time. A lot of guys in that room, I feel like we all kind of get along really well. And it's fun to play with a group of guys that you can have fun with away from the rink and at the rink together too. I know I might be the butt of the joke sometimes for a lot of the guys, but it's all fun. We have a great locker room and a lot of bickering and little banter going on here and there. But those are guys that you want to go to war with, right? And, like, this playoffs down the stretch in the league, and especially hopefully I can kind of impose that for some of the guys, is how important this game is too. It's a 120-minute game, but, like, these first 60 minutes can be a big difference maker. And if we have that start that we did last time, it's going to be a heck of a lot tougher, I think, to come back in a playoff style game than a league game. And that's something that we got to be aware of, you know. And so it's all the chips are on the table from the drop of the puck, and you just got to look at it from a 120-minute game, you know.
Interesting. Obviously, you're no stranger to this now, and given the run that we had last year and the run that we had to win what we did, is there any differences in the locker room that we're seeing now, like maybe from yourself as well, having been through this scenario with the Giants before?
I guess it's different for me. I know a little bit more what to expect, how to hopefully take care of your body a little bit better too. Each year pro comes with that. But I think last year hearing Kiefer talk about, like, every single game matters. And I think I took that a little lightly last year. Not that I wasn't competing every single game, but it comes down to it. Like, you look at the little run we had at the end of the year last year, we won the league in the last minute of the last game. Like, that's stressful. And I've tried to talk to guys about, like, hey, like, we can't, it's not like nobody wants to lose, right? And that's the beauty of the sport. But every single game you got to wake up for. Like those, every 2 points in the league means something even more to us maybe than it does a bottom of the league or a bottom of the table team. Like they want to get some points and get a couple wins here and there, but like every single win we need, especially when you have teams chasing you. And we're at the top right now. We know teams are chasing us, and hopefully we can just keep building on that.
Better to be chased than be the chaser.
Absolutely, it's in our hands then if we're the ones being chased. It's like it's our trophy to lose right now, and there's still a lot of hockey to play, but hopefully we can keep rolling the way we've been rolling.
You mentioned Reed as well, like trying to translate that to the new guys, the guys who come in, the guys who maybe aren't experienced with how it works in this league. I guess they'll be looking to you guys who are experienced to say, this is exactly how it is. It's game on game. We've got this game tomorrow against Coventry, and then it's just straight into the NIC in Nottingham and 2 games against Nottingham Panthers.
Yeah, and we've got a tough schedule here, and that's something that we're trying to do the best we can to make sure we're recovered, a little lighter on the skate today in terms of time-wise. But yeah, we know we got a little tough run here, but it's when you win, you get chances to play more hockey games. So hopefully we can keep winning and keep playing.
Well, listen, mate, we do appreciate you coming and joining us. Good luck tomorrow and your trip to Nottingham. We'll chat to you down the line.
Appreciate it, guys. That's all you got for me?
That's all we got for you, mate. That's it.
Sounds
easy
good.
enough.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
Cheers, Bo.
Cheers.
All the best. Bye. Big thanks to Bo Hanson for coming on and joining us, to come thick and fast with our interviews this week. We go straight into the next one. A man who's not new to the league, but definitely new to the Belfast Giants, was called into action in Coventry at the weekend. Delighted to have him as part of the Belfast Giants now. Please welcome Jake Kupsky. How are you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me on. Let me join you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. So, first big question before we get into sort of the opportunity to come to Belfast is, when you come into a game like that, obviously nobody wants to see the injuries and like that, but you've come into the game at that sort of, how difficult is it to get your head into the game, especially considering the situation we were in?
Yeah, obviously hate to see any injuries when you're coming in to back up. You don't want to go in because of that by any means, but you try to prepare for each game like you are starting. So when that did happen and I was able to get on the ice there mentally and physically, ready to play and ready to do whatever I needed to do to help the boys win. And obviously they dug us out of a big hole. They were getting 5 goals. So it was awesome. But yeah, again, like you just kind of jump on the ice and you've been playing hockey your whole life. So just getting out there it's fun and it's good to happen.
It's interesting as well, I suppose, from your point of view, watching from the back line and watching goals as the momentum starts to build and you start to get 1, 2, 3, 4, that fifth. Yeah, it just to build. When momentum in a hockey game changes like that, you can see it. You can see it.
Yeah, I think just after that 4th goal we gave up, we just kind of, you could see the guys start to get a little momentum for whatever reason. Like we gave up that 4th goal, and then it was like, okay, what else do we have to lose? Let's go start playing some hard hockey. And the boys just sustained pressure for the whole 2nd period and whole 3rd period. And then, we got into overtime, and 20 seconds into overtime, it felt like we were winning. So it was good.
Jake, let's roll it back 24 hours. Obviously, no stranger to the SSA, having played in the city last year, but to come out the home tunnel, hear the ovation from the home crowd, have them backing you every stadium, it must have been a special night for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool experience that I'm fortunate enough to be on this side, like you said. Just the guys, the organization, the locker room, coming out on the ice with the fan noise and the fire and everything. It's something I've never experienced before, and it was incredible. I'm looking forward to many more.
And then a game that at stages looked like we could maybe run away with it, and then it tightened up towards the end. It must have been stressful enough.
Yeah, it was stressful, but at the same time, it's super exciting, right? Like being able to be in a tight game like that with the home crowd and just feel the SSE just erupt at the end there when we did get the win it was awesome.
Jake, when you look at, obviously you've come into Belfast now last week, but you know the league now. You've been in the league for the last season and then obviously this bit, but playing against the Giants, we've been lucky enough over the last year or so to have Guildford's number. But would you rather be on the Guildford side, or would you rather be on the Belfast side, taking the opponents and obviously the talent that we have in this locker room?
Yeah, I just think it's easy to see now, being on this side of it, how and why you guys are so good, and I'm on it now. The practices are so detailed. Just the guys coming to the rink every day are so detailed. Everything about this organization just screams success. So it's a true honor to be here and be a part of it, and hopefully continue that success going forward.
Your college career.
Yep.
Back in the Friendship 4 days, did you make the trip to the Friendship 4?
I did. I didn't play in it. Darian Hanson, my goalie partner, played both games, but we did win it that year, and that was one heck of a week as well.
What were your memories from that trip?
Yeah, it was just so awesome. Just being able to see, that was my first time overseas. I have family over in Scotland, so they were able to come over and watch us play. My family from Wisconsin was able to come over. It just felt like such a family affair. All the guys had their families come in, and being able to win both games and kind of celebrate like we when we won the, I forget what it is, the bell. Yeah. So being able to celebrate that was awesome. But it was such a cool experience.
I've just it's just that Davy. Says as we were talking there, I was like thinking, I'm pretty sure Jake was on the line. That's why I ended up with the book and the stats in the book. But Darian Hanson got to play the game against EU and the game against Yale.
Yeah,
overtime win, or shootout win in that. But it's such a great competition to be part of. Such a great, and no doubt a fantastic experience.
Yeah, it was so cool just to be able to explore the city with your classmates and win that bell was a lot of fun.
Coming in, like, obviously big week for the Belfast Giants. We've got, as we said, the game against the Coventry Blaze tomorrow, and then 2 games against the Nottingham Panthers. This is a massive run in now for the side, and we heard just there from Bo Hanson, a man just in front of you in defence. The atmosphere in the locker room has to be good and has to be confident, especially coming off that win in Coventry.
Yeah, it's great. Coming from a organization where like we're trying to win games every night, but if we lose a point here and there, it's not the end of the world because the league title is pretty much out of it. But like coming here, like every point matters. So every time you step into that rink, like you're coming in there with a swagger to do a job. So I feel like, this week's huge for us, obviously with the game tomorrow and then Nottingham on the weekend, but every game's huge going forward. So we have essentially like a 20 game stretch of we need all the points we can get. So it's an intense energy, but I think it's amazing. Yeah, we have a lot of confidence going into this week.
I'm interested, having spent the season with Paul Dixon and then coming in now with Adam Keefe. But what are the differences between their styles of coaching?
They're Paul goes about it in a very player focused way, very very light, very kind of feel good way, whereas Kiefer is just right to business. He's very serious about the game, and not saying Paul isn't by any means. He was a great coach, but he's got that little bit more of an intensity to everything he does, whether it's film or practice or workouts or skates or whatever. You can just feel how much he wants to win, and not saying that Paul doesn't want to win at all, but it's just it's a different vibe for sure.
Certainly
interesting. When you're looking at the, obviously you had a few games in the AHL, the ECHL, and now the EIHL. What's your thoughts on the standard of hockey here, and what you've seen in the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, I think the standard of hockey here is great, and it's only getting better. Each year you see more and more players coming over that are just high talent, high level. So yeah, it's blown expectations way out of the water. Like you've got so many players that could be playing somewhere else, but they came here because maybe the North American vibe, get a little bit more imports, and the hockey's just going up every year. So it's a great league.
Good man, Jake. The one thing about Belfast fans are, when you're an opponent, I think you've probably got this already. Could playing your games against Belfast. The fans are on your back, and that's the same in every other rink, almost taken around the place. But when you're coming down the stretch here, And you'd already mentioned about the demands and basically the work ethic of Adam, you know, and the way, you know, he just wants to get down to work. Let's get ready to go. The next game coming up. This is the start of the stretch now. You've got a big game tomorrow. We've obviously got Nottingham at the weekend. You've got Coventry again next week. And then the games come thick and fast. You must be looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like being able to come into this opportunity and then just kind of get thrown into the fire. It's something that you just dream of as a player. Like you just always dream of having the trophy at the end of the year, and we have a chance to get all three. It's an excellent experience, and it's an excellent opportunity that I just think all the guys here are up for the task, and we're looking forward to each and every game.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Jake, we really do appreciate you coming. Welcome to Belfast. We hope you settle in well. And, good luck come down the stretch.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Cheers, night.
Okay. Have a good one.
Big thanks to both Bo Hanson and to Jake Kupsky. Of course, Jake isn't the only person to be added to the roster in the last week or so. Belfast Giants confirmed the signing of 30-year-old forward Ben Freeman for the rest of the season. Ben from Falmouth and Maine joins from the Danish Metal League side, Friedrichshafen Whitehawks. Interesting signing, says. Looks to have all looks exactly what we sort of need from a forward point of view. Big unit as well.
Yeah, big boy, another ex-NCAA Friendship 4 alumni.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I haven't had a chance to meet him yet. As I say, the boys were at Dundonald today, and we were at I was working in the arena, so I never got a chance to see him. But you know, just speaking to a few of the other comrades, they're all, you know, saying positive things about him. So, you know, it's always tough to come into a new locker room. Hopefully he settles in very quickly. And get ready to go, because you know it's as we'll just mention it there to Jake. This is the start of the run in. This is the start of the heading down the stretch, and games are definitely going to be coming very, very thick and fast. And we're going to need every player that we have in this roster, whether if they're playing or they're, you know, on the healthy scratch, or even if they're injured at the minute. We need to get guys all pulling the rope, and hopefully we can end with silverware at the end of the season.
It's one of those, David. You know, we obviously when Marcus Eriksson went back to Sweden the way they did, and you know we wish him well. That leaves those sort of roster spots open. The need for reinforcements is absolutely there. Given that, yeah, looks good. Like it's one of those until you see him on the ice and you see how he fits in and see what it. But looks like got a decent pedigree behind him. Looks like a decent player.
Yeah, always good to be able to bolster the pack at this stage of the season. Obviously, it seems like no time at all. We were just ticking up the 27 games, just the halfway point in the league season. And all of a sudden, we're in the countdown. You know, you're 2019-18. You're starting to think about the last half dozen or the last dozen games this season, cup semi-finals, potential cup finals, playoffs. And in the blink of an eye, like it's already mid-February. 6 weeks, we're done. You know, the season's in the history books. So what is 6 weeks to be coming in? And, you know, the big lad's going to be wanting to play as much as he can over the next 6 weeks and make an impact. That's, you know, he's been brought in here to be an impact. Marcus has had to go back to Sweden. What can you do? So, you know, it's exciting time for him.
Absolutely.
Did anybody see the backhand pass from Marcus's goal the other night?
I did, yeah.
Strong, mate. That big stick, 6 foot long stick with flex on it, man. It zipped across there in the backhand, like, didn't it?
One of the best backhand passes ever. If you watch him get into the wall, sort of just has to look over his left shoulder. That pass was absolutely on the money. It was fantastic. I've seen him do it in practice, and you know, unfortunately, I'd say wish him the best of luck. And Marcus, a great guy, very quiet, very, you know, sort of kept himself to himself, never give us any hassle whatsoever. The whole time he was here, an absolute gentleman, and you know, he had a lot of positive things to say about the organization, which is always nice to hear.
Absolutely that. I wish well. And it'll be interesting to see what Ben Freeman has to offer in this Belfast Giants side. Right. One more guest to invite in and have a chat with us, a man who used to score for us and now seems to enjoy scoring against us. Please welcome back Davy from the Bridge, Elijah Barriga. How you doing, mate?
Good yourself. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Turn your phone 90 degrees if you
This
could.
way?
Just so side, and I'll pop up.
Oh,
there we go. That's set up right for us. Yeah, you like I say, you seem to enjoy scoring against us now. What's that all about?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just getting lucky, I guess. It's about the right time.
We've just had Bo Hanson on, and we've had Jake Kupsky, obviously both involved in that game on Sunday. But give it to us from your point of view. It must have been frustrating the way that went down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought we came out pretty hot, like pretty strong actually, and I think we tilted the ice a little bit in the first period, and I don't know. I think we made a couple mistakes in the second period, and then you guys capitalized on one, and kind of seemed that we couldn't get our feet under ourselves, and then we made a bad change, and it was a 2-on-1, and then they scored again, and then we couldn't really stop the little, I don't know, little details that kind of just, I'm not too sure what happened, but like I don't think we could. We were just kind of gripping our sticks a little bit too much right there, and then we made a sloppy turnover, and then by the time it's already 4-3, and then now there's a game.
That was that snapped an 8-game winning streak. That's not what was basically how you guys have been for the last couple of months, which has been really, really strong.
Yeah, this past month, we've kind of, we have a lot of injuries early on in the year, and we kind of, everyone was playing everywhere, but we kind of got healthy, and now we're kind of just rolling right now and playing well, and everyone's playing the way they're supposed to be playing.
Games against each other, Eli, have been pretty tight. Granted, it's a 7-goal, but it's only a one goal game, and on Sunday, it's crazy how momentum happens in hockey. You've got the first 23, 24 minutes of game, you've got all the momentum, and then it just starts that momentum switches, and it's just like trying to skate uphill more.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the momentum switches are, you just got to learn how to kind of stop them in a way. And I mean, you don't have to stop the bleeding, but you got to find ways where you can kind of slow down the game. And it kind of took a little too long for us to kind of figure that one out.
And for yourself, Easy, you've seen this from both sides now. You were with Belfast last year in a similar position to what we are this year. You're with Coventry, who probably the league is beyond them. So you've got to be super focused on these two games that are coming up in the Cup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, like you said, that I've been on the other side of it, and I know what to expect and what they're going to bring. And no, these are going to be important games, but we got to play them the right way. Obviously, it's aggregate in these two games, so yeah, just got to be aware at every single moment of the game, and one goal might cost you, so you just really have to put your head on your shoulders and kind of just really dial it in on every shift, because it's going to matter.
Eli, Kevin Moore, we've talked about him a couple of times on the podcast. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a really good guy. I thought he came across, obviously, the incident in Nottingham a couple of seasons ago. It's sort of he was right at the forefront for the Nottingham Panthers at that time, and I thought he was incredible and came across it very professional and very, very well. What's he like as a coach?
He's really good. Like he's really, really smart. He loves video. Like he loves doing the little things to kind of get us prepared for every situation of the game. He's a great guy. Like he's really smart. No, I just like him as a person too as well. So
you seem to have a pretty tight dressing room. I was talking to you when you were in Belfast there last week, and you seem to have a really tight group of guys. Obviously, it's always nice getting into a locker room, knowing a couple of people have been mismatch and wee Mac and what have you. But how are you settling in yourself to Coventry?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, yeah, they've been treated really nice here, and yeah, it's nice to have familiar faces, when you go to a new spot, and obviously Grant and Stewie. But yeah, we're really close, and I mean, it's kind of a small organization, obviously, and kind of just, we kind of hang out a lot and stuff and do stuff off the ice to kind of be together.
It's been interesting as well the way that you look at you and Masher as well. That he's leading. He's sort of really kicked into gear. He's leading on points. You're only one goal behind him, so you're both really contributing at this point. We spoke with Scott Finlay, who's a massive Coventry Blaze fan and part of the setup, but he highlighted the arrival of Jordan Parr as being something that really kicked you guys into gear as well.
Yeah, I feel like we were lacking for sure in the D zone early on, and we just needed someone kind of just, I don't know, we just needed a D that was gonna kind of step up, and we didn't really have one yet. And Power kind of just filled that in that role, and he's been awesome. He's been a really plus for our team for sure.
If you don't mind me asking a quick personal question, I saw you when you're still playing with the full face visor. Is that on the back of what happened in Nottingham?
Yeah, that's what happened. I get a little fracture
still
here on I fractured my cheek and then my nose. So no, I think I'm switching tomorrow. So I was practicing with the visor.
When you have sort of little injuries and incidents like that, it just takes a little bit of time for you to get beyond it.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to make sure everything was healed before I even threw that thing back on again. I've been taking a lot of stuff to my face recently, so kind of just let everything heal and then go from there.
And between that and the cut and all sort of just it all comes your way, doesn't it?
I remember the night the cut happened, Eli, and I remember the energy on the bench whenever you've gone. I watch football and I see guys getting a little push in the chest and they're down, they're holding their face or whatever. And you see hockey guys, and it was as quick as you could get stitched and back on that bench.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's a huge game, and you want to be out there for those situations and kind of not miss those things. So I was trying to get out there as fast as possible, and try to do anything to help the team win, obviously. And that was a big game for us, and we won. So,
but no mental like what happened was not nice. That wasn't like there's no way to like sugarcoat it. It's a horrible situation, but there was no doubt in your mind there, like, get me stitched and get me back in the game, coach.
Yeah, that's exactly. I don't know. I just knew it was a big game, and you kind of don't want to miss those big ones, right? So, as fast as I can get out there and try to help the team win, like I said, I'll do it.
Hockey player mentality, man. Tomorrow night, first leg. Do us a paper taking night off, would you? How do you feeling heading in tomorrow night?
I mean, I think it's gonna be a good game. Obviously, we just saw them a couple of days ago, so I think it's gonna be pretty close. Like, both teams are obviously good. Belfast, I mean, I've been on that side. I know they're gonna bring and what they expect of them, and we just gotta continue to play our game and play it for full 60 and see what happens. So no, I think it'll be a really good hockey game tomorrow.
I think that's one of the things between both Belfast and Coventry, regardless of where league status is, especially in the last month. We've taken wins in yours the way that we did on Sunday. You came over to ours and took the win. You took the lead, but for us, scooping one in, it went to overtime, and then you take the win there. It shows that these games are between two teams who know how to play in tight games against each other.
Yeah, I feel like we've been in tight games all year. I mean, especially this past month for sure. So we just gotta kind of learn how to kind of play with leads and manage games and kind of go from there. I think we'll be all right. But Belfast obviously a good team. You guys are sitting in first for a reason, and you guys are good. And we got to respect that and then play our game as well.
Fantastic. Well, listen, appreciate you coming on and joining us. I know I've been badgering you for a couple of weeks,
No,
so it's I do appreciate you taking the time and coming and joining us. It's good to see you. Stop scoring goals against us, please, mate. And we'll chat to you soon.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
See you guys.
Big thanks to Elijah Bariga. One thing, but before we go in and talk about the games, great player, Davy.
It's hard not to love guys that came to the city, did their very, very best, put their heart in the line for us, and put their body in the line. Like that night that happened in Nottingham.
I was there myself. I remember it.
Right, okay. And the speed that he came back onto the ice, and all you want from a Belfast Giant player is to see someone who puts the ultimate effort that they can put when they're on the ice, and that was easy every time he was on the ice. Skated as hard as he could. Didn't completely work out for him towards the end of the season. He's got himself a good opportunity there in Coventry, and it's paying dividends. We knew what a good player we were getting when he first signed for us. He was really unfortunate with that injury in the first season when he just first started. We didn't really get to see the real lights until the following season, and then he left Belfast as a league and cup champion, and with everybody's fondest wishes, like an absolute great guy.
And says one of the things as well, and one of the things we pointed out many times is attitude. And you see that a player like Barriga, you can see why he was part of our title win setup last year, because he has the right attitude.
That makes it an awful lot easier. But off the ice, he's a great kid. You've got so many players that come through your doors over the years, and there's guys that come and with the business the way it is, it's harsh. There's guys that come in and they play really well for you. Especially at the start of last season. After coming off the really bad the season ending, early season ending injury the year before, and obviously the call was made pretty easy to get him back in and give him the opportunity to see exactly what he could do. And he came in for the second season. He started the year on the line with Scott Conway and JJ Pickenic, and he was scoring for fun. He made that line. He sort of did into the corners, did the dirty work, and give the puck to Cons or JJ, and vice versa. But off the ice, great lad, real good guy. I can't remember anybody having a problem with him over the 2 years that he was in Belfast. And when his brother came in when he first had the operation on his knee. The first year he was here, his brother came in and he was sort of running after him in his apartment for a few weeks until he was back up on his feet again. But I'm really fond of him. I think he's a great kid, and he's doing really well in Coventry. And it does not surprise me one bit. And you mentioned about Mismatch as well, Paddy. I remember saying at the start of last year, Grand Mismatch, this kid's got something. He's got an absolute cannon of a shot. I did think he scored 30 goals last year. Yeah, I did say that. And unfortunately he didn't for us, but he contributed to two championships, and I'll be forever grateful for him. He scored 30 this year. I don't know, but he might well do in all competitions. Grant Mismatch is a really good player. Some guys don't settle in as much as others, and we don't get the opportunities as much as others. But Grant Mismatch is another solid player for the Coventry Blaze, and we've got our work cut out this weekend, and this starts tomorrow night. Obviously, this week 3 very important games, and no more so than the Coventry Blaze tomorrow night.
12 goals and 23 assists in the league for Grant Mismatch, 35 points, where he had 4 goals and 3 assists, 7. So 42 points out of the 42 points of the 45 games that he's played in league and cup for the Coventry Blaze. So a dangerous lad will come up against them tomorrow, and of course next week.
Any other business?
Got games to hit, man. So that's a nice try. 2 games for the Belfast Giants over the last week.
Look them up on YouTube.
A win over the Fife Flyers and a win over the Coventry Blaze. Let's have a look at the 5 game first, David, and hear from the coaches.
I didn't love the game. However, 2 points at this time of the year is a big 2 points. I thought, not to take anything away from Fife, I thought they were very good tonight. I thought they competed extremely hard. Put us in some awkward positions, but with their speed and their work ethic, and I just didn't like how we managed that. Because of that, the night was a little harder than it probably had to be if we'd played our game a little more. But also, you're up against a team that's competing hard and to get back into the playoff race. So I'm certainly not going to complain about the 2 points. I thought we gave up 4 or 5 breakaways that Jake made saves on, and that was huge for us, and not a nice welcome for him to be giving up 4 to 5 breakaways in night 1. But I thought that was a big turning point in the game. And I thought we had roughly, we had one power play goal tonight, but the one came right at the very end of it. So, really two power play goals, and then I thought that was a big penalty kill for us at the very end there. So, some real good positives to take out of the game, but we're up against a team tomorrow that's unbeaten in regulation, I think, in 14 or 15 games, and the hottest team in the league right now in Coventry Blaze, and we're going to have to be a lot better than we were tonight.
I thought it was a good hockey game. I really liked our first period. We got away from our structure a little bit in the second period, but stuck with it in the third. Had some good chances and then got one with the goalie pulled. So pretty solid effort from our group. Pleased with how we played.
Goal scorers for the Belfast Giants were Ben Lake, Jake Godet, JJ Pikanich, Nicholas Gay. For the Fife Flyers, Finoro, Porsberger, and Milan Lucic. Jake Kupsky got his debut for the Belfast Giants on the win. Shane Owen in the other net, and the referees were Andy Dalton and Vitas Lukasvicius. At times, Davey, this was quite bad-tempered, I felt.
Yeah, I'm just flicking through my book here for the notes I was making during the game, because sometimes you actually prepare for this podcast, but can't find it.
Makes one of us.
But no, that's Patrick Grasso scored the winner there, so that's an old one. Let's just go with what Adam said. And totally agree with him. Whenever you take this game in the round, this is two massive points that could have squeaked away from us at the end. They came at us hard. I thought Jake was excellent in nets as it goes. We did give up too many odd mans on him, and that'll, as we learn the way Jake plays and Jake learns the way the D plays and the forward buy-in and stuff, we'll tighten up there. It was tighter than it needed to be. Overall, sort of pretty even in terms of grade A chances, but I thought Jake was very, very good on the night, in which we did enough certainly to win the game, but massive 2 points without having to go into that depth analysis.
I think that's, and like Simon, they were 5 Flyers. Yes, they are propping up the league at the minute. David Booth has now gone back to North America, so they've lost a real talent in their side, a real guy with NHL experience who was showing real promise. But with the injury he took, he's decided to go back to North America. Milan Lucic still there, got the goal. But this is a 5 team are showing a little bit of fight. But Belfast once again just a better team.
Yeah, there's no pressure in Fife. Do you know what I mean? They're with all the. They're a mile away from getting into the playoffs. Think they need to win every single game between now and the end of the season to have that chance to make it happen. And they know that ain't going to happen. They came into the game on Saturday night. I watched it on the webcast, and I thought they did really, really well. There was a bit of bite there, and they had their opportunities, and look, they went ahead to get the opening goal, and they got a go-ahead goal to make it 2-1 and brought it back to 2 each. Obviously, they thought we sort of woke us up a bit. When we got our fourth goal, and then they get, I think, did Lucic get a tip on it? Their third one, they make it 4-3 with a couple of minutes to go.
The third one was Lucic, yes.
I've seen the shot from the point, but, Jake Kupsky, let's be honest, there's no way he's going to see that puck coming at him. Lucic standing right on top of the blue paint. He makes it really, really difficult for him. But, the Flyers played well. As I say, no pressure on them at all. So, it's teams like that, but you actually really, really need to be careful of. Because, when we played them on Boxing Day, we beat them 9-0. We were excellent last night, but they were really, really poor. 2 nights later, they ended up beating us away in Fife. This game can be very, very fickle. Mentally, if you're not right in the right place and you beat a team 9-0 one night and then you go into playing the game the next night with that mentality of going, we'll just have to turn up, that's not the way it works. So, Fife are going to take more points between now and the end of the season. Against who? I don't know. But we need to be concentrating on what controls us. And luckily, we came out with that scoreline of 4-3 the other night. As Adam said, I didn't think we were very good. But when we find a way to win in a difficult situation, it comes out with 2 points, and it's a positive.
I see, sorry, Paddy, just before you go there, I see today that they're looking reinforcements. I don't know if they've actually brought someone in, or they're just, the PR was they're looking another forward, because as you say, unfortunately, David Booth with that season-ending injury, he'd looked brilliant for them. Guy could really, really skate. He even in the 9-0 game, Simon, like he didn't look out of his depth in any way. You know, he speed up and down the ice, and unfortunately for him, just that little injury is going to end the season. So hopefully he can recover well from that.
He's a good player. I think it was it 11 goals in 9 games or 11 and 11.
Yeah,
you know,
well.
It doesn't make a difference what level or what league you're playing in. You know, if you're getting 11 goals or a goal a game, that is some going. And you know, he knew where the net was. And I thought when I seen him the first night and Boxing Night, and the same with Milan Lucic, it's, you know, it was a tough game to come into. They haven't played in a while, but the next night, both of them were excellent. And there was people laughing at Milan Lucic on that Boxing Night. I actually think you said, Davy, you know, God, he looks, and he did look off the pace. Make no mistake about it.
I was lucky enough to be in Fife. I was lucky enough to be in Fife a couple of days later, and Booth and Lucic were outstanding. Real big additions. Yeah. Fife are going to miss Booth. That's going to be a big miss for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a note for I can't remember if he was man of the match in this game, but Jake Gaudette I thought he got a goal and assist, and I thought Jake Gaudette was absolutely superb in this game.
Jackson Whistle's season aside, Jake Gaudette is my MVP. I talked about it.
Yeah.
To you guys at the weekend, the kind of Mark Cooper kind of leadership that you need, going to the well constantly, finishing hits all the time, big moments have involved Jake Gaudette at almost every point this season. I think he's been an unbelievable pickup for the team. Simon will be able to add more, and maybe we've got a lot more from Jake Gaudette than perhaps we were expecting. But he's been, along with Gazer and God forgive me, Gooch, 29. They've been tremendous together. But Jake just always in and around the blue paint, doing damage. Outstanding player this season. I said, like, if I had to vote today for MVP, it would be 63.
I think that's it. And you know, what came to me is, Davey just said it there, Simon, is that he's a big moments player. It's not about big games player. He's a big moments player where he just, you need those big moments in those games, and Jake Gaudette comes up with them.
He's a 200-foot player. You know, Davey just mentioned there about, you know,
him a lot.
You're getting when he comes into the team, and when you get a player to pick up like a pickup of Jake Gaudette, straight out of North America. We knew what we were looking to get, and we've got exactly what we want out of him. You know, he's solid player. You know, he's picking up extra shifts now in the fourth line, in between Kieran Long and Carl Boudria right now. Because the game we're low on players, and hopefully Ben Freeman's going to come in and take a few of those minutes off him. But you know, I really like his game. We talk about the character of players, both when they're playing and when they're off the ice. Off the ice, you'll not mean a nicer lad. He is such a good guy. You know, and again, coming up with some big plays. And you know, you talk about that trio of Pickenets, Conway, and Goodwin. We know what we've had for them in the last, you know, 3 of the last 4 years. This trio of Kawaguchi, Gay, and Gaudette is right up there with the best in the league right now. You know, Nick Gay, man of the match on Sunday, which we'll go on to talk about. He was stayed 3 points on Saturday and 3 points on Sunday. You know, so Kawaguchi, we know exactly what we're getting off Jordan Kawaguchi for his second season. Just think that between the three of them, they've got 3 very, very talented players, and they're starting to read each other's game really, really well.
And depth of scoring is what you need. We'll come to that. Depth of scoring is what we're going to need coming down that stretch. The highlights from this game, the 4-3 win over the Five Flyers, are of course available from our friends at Belfast Giants TV. Let's move on to what was a very interesting game at the Sky Dome against the Coventry Blaze. A 5-4 overtime win for your Belfast Giants. Here from the coaches.
Yeah, you know, I thought our start was probably our best 25 minutes of the year, and you know, the next 15 was I wouldn't make it a stretch to say it was our worst 15 minutes of the year, but it was not the game plan we had going into that. And so to let a team like Belfast grab momentum, you know, especially with how they're just kind of relentless and offensively, it wasn't positive for us, and it gave them belief. And then towards the end, right, obviously the power play goal for them was huge, and we're just a tick off on the aggressiveness where like maybe you get that out and we just missed it and they're able to tie it. So, it like everything with us, like I think in a vacuum, like there was a lot of really good we can learn. I think there was a lot of negative we can learn from, and ultimately at this time of the year, we're just trying to keep getting better, and it's a big positive to get a point in overtime.
Obviously, we're up against the hottest team in the league right now in Coventry, and they certainly showed it in period 1 and to start period 2, really. Obviously, they really took it to us. Probably one of the biggest beatings I've seen us take there in the first 25 minutes or so. I thought, Gazer's line, Gazer in particular, puts a puck in behind their D and then makes a real nice play out front to Gooch. And I think that sparked a little something in us. And I thought from that point on, I thought we were ourselves, and I thought we deserved to come back. I thought we deserved to win that game. I thought the third period we were great. We had plenty of looks there to probably get it done in regulation. Credit Coventry. I mean, they are competing for everything. Skate real well. And they're playing with real confidence. Obviously, it looks like they arrested Robson tonight, and obviously I'm sure that had an impact tonight as well. But, for us, this is a big 2 points, a big league game for us. We're trying to focus on the league with one eye on the cup, and I think that you guys are trying to focus on the cup with one eye on the league, and it's slightly different. But it is what it is. This is the situation we find ourselves in. It's a tough league to win everything, and that's our end goal is to win everything, not just one.
The goals for the Belfast Giants were let's start with Coventry Blaze. The Coventry ran out to a 4-0 lead in space of 21 minutes and 51 seconds. Elijah Barriga, who we spoke to earlier, Matthew Gleeson, who is a phenomenal player, I have to say, Grant Mismash and Adam Robbins made it 4-0 for the Coventry Blaze, and then the Belfast Giants started to kick in. Jordan Kawaguchi got the first, Mike Lee got the second, Jake Gaudet, who we just were talking about, got the third. JJ Picanich, 50 minutes and 36 on the power play, made it 4-4, and we go to overtime. Scott Conway, 26 seconds in, with the winner for the Belfast Giants. And that's Dershawn Stewart for the Coventry Blaze. Jackson Whistle started the game, unfortunately took an injury and was replaced by Jake Kupsky, and who finished the game. Matt Rose and Oliver Truswell were your two referees. Character, Simon Kitchen. Character is what this is. Character for a team who are chasing the league. To be 4 goals down against this, as Adam Keefe says, the hottest team in the league right now, to go 4 goals down after 22 minutes and to come back and get 2 points, that's character.
Yeah, we were chasing right from the first couple of minutes, and they were really, really good. And as Adam said, the opening 25 minutes, get a 4-goal lead against us, and we actually looked dead and buried. I thought we just weren't at it at all in the opening period, especially, and then Nick Gay comes really deep to pick the puck up, a little give and go on the blue line with Reid Irwin, drives into the zone, chip and chase. You get people basically wanting to go coast to coast and getting these great goals. That's not how hockey's played. You've got to, when you're down in the doldrums and you're 4-0 down, you've got to go back to basics, get it in behind them, which he did, chased it in, got his own dump in, threw it right out front, and a great finish from Kawaguchi. And then to react again, we had all our opportunities before you got the second goal, and then the seconds followed quickly by the third, and you're back in at 4-3 at the end of the second period. I thought we were really, really good in the second, really good. And I thought we controlled the third. Adam says, when you're 4-0 down against the hottest team in the league, you're sitting thinking, where are we going to go to here? And, is Adam already looking to Wednesday night to try and make sure that, that 4-0 lead for them, if they had carried that rightly into this game, they're going to go into Wednesday absolutely all feeling 10 foot high. But we got it back. And, thinking back to the Challenge Cup a couple of years ago, we were in exactly the same position, only on the other end of it. We were 4-0 up against Coventry. They came back, get it back to 4-4, and win in overtime. So it's like we talk about it all the time. Momentum. character is a brilliant word for it, Paddy, but getting it back to 4-3 and basically not giving in, literally taking it shift by shift, just wanting to not give in and get the win. And that could come back to be two of the biggest points, or technically to get it to overtime, one of the biggest points that we'll look back on this season, because that was a total character win.
I think we saw in the first 20 minutes of that game, Davy, why the Coventry Blaze are currently one of the hottest teams in the league. You see Matthew Gleeson in that first goal driving in, and Elijah Barriga be able to get the first goal. Then Gleeson again driving in from the halfway line and finding a way to get to the back of the net just there. They have this grand mismatch, showing, as we spoke about earlier, exactly what he is able to do in this league. Coventry are very dangerous. We know this going into the Challenge Cup semi-final tomorrow. Coventry are a very, very dangerous side to face. So to be able to do that and turn it around, as we heard from Jake Kupsky and from Bo Hanson, you leave the building with great confidence.
Yeah, although I think that because tomorrow is the start of 6 periods, it'll maybe not be quite as intense in the first. A lot of teams we've talked over the last 2 or 3 podcasts about teams' game plans being throw the kitchen sink at us in the first 20 minutes and see what sticks. And they were fortunate enough to get the 4-0. And then I think when it came to that 4-0, maybe the best form of defence at that stage is attack. And the Giants came out and just turned on their attacking style and chipped away at it, give Adams something to work with in the second intermission, 4-3 rather than 4-0 or 5-0 or 6-0. Boys, you've got something to work with here. There's no reason why you can't. And we controlled that third period. And to be honest, probably should have won the game in regulation and took the regulation win. How important that'll be down the stretch, I don't know. But the 2 points again from the weekend, 4-point weekend, was huge from some of the positions we were in. Ugly win on the Saturday night. Big bounce back character win, as you called it, on the Sunday night. But 4 points at this stage, it doesn't matter. Whenever we read the history books and 10 years from now, I'll not say how ugly they were. I'll just say it was 2 points.
We spoke there, Simon, about Jake Godet. Let's talk about Nicholas Gay. He was by far the guy in the Belfast Giants. He was player of the game for the Belfast Giants in this game. And you heard him mentioned from Adam Keefe about how key he was in this turnaround.
I missed who it was you were talking about, Paddy. Sorry.
Nicholas Gay.
Who?
Nicholas Gay.
He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. He was brilliant all weekend. Nick Gay has got that in his locker. He won a championship last year and in the ECHL, and that this is the type of player that you're looking for in these situations. You want somebody who's a winner. You want somebody who basically goes into the dirty areas to get the puck and get it out to his teammates. He's not afraid to get stuck into it. I thought he was absolutely outstanding at the weekend, and again, when the whole team's not going, it's difficult to have that spark. And he gave us that spark with that real smart play to get the first goal, and then he gets his assist on the second goal as well. So really, really important player. And when you're looking, as I say, right down the stretch here at the minute, and it's going to be a tough ask. But it all starts again tomorrow night. We've had success over the last. I can't remember who it was said a few years ago on Soccer AM, bounce back ability.
Yes,
Ian Dowie.
Ian Dowie.
When you that bounce back ability for us to come back into the game, on Sunday, is absolutely outstanding. Here's this goal. If you're anybody watching, see the highlights. Look at him driving in there behind. He skates right past 3 Coventry players that they've no interest in going after him.
Pass back for
it. Great pass out front. And that's the bit that gave us the spark, and Nick Gay's got that bounce back ability.
The other thing about that as well, the natural idea for your forward that's driving there is to go expect Gay to put it around the wall to go into the corner. As soon as Jordan sees that Nick's going in deep, skates straight to blue paint. This puck's coming out in front. And that's just the way them boys have been all season together. There's a bit of telepathy between those 3.
chemistry between them, Davy, and with Nick Gay, the points he got there and the game-winning goal on Saturday night for the Belfast Giants, just a good weekend all around for him.
Yeah, that line's going 10-12-64 has gone really well since Christmas. You're getting the third line help as well, and we've got a lot of points from the blue line as well. We've been mean defensively in the amount of goals we've given up since sort of Halloween, really, but certainly since Christmas. And the team's in good shape. We have to protect those first 20 minutes. There's just been a few games over the last few weeks where the first 20 minutes haven't been what the coaching staff would want.
Leading the league in goals scored, leading the league in goals conceded, and that's I guess that's why it puts us on in the number one spot with 36 games played and 58 points on the board. It was a very entertaining 5-4 win for your Belfast Giants in overtime. You get the highlights from our good friends over on Coventry Blaze TV. Player of the Month award for January was awarded. Obviously, a player who unfortunately suffered an injury in the game against the Coventry Blaze the subsequent night. But let me just, if I can pull up the picture. Sorry, this time. And that it goes to overwhelmingly to Jackson Whistle. We spoke about it last week, Davey, about how brilliant Jackson Whistle has been. Took that injury on Sunday. Hopefully it's not too bad and we will be able to see him coming in the stretch, because obviously he has been, and you said it yourself earlier, Davey, he's been probably one of the MVPs, if not the MVP for the season so far. I
love that photograph, man. The little hero shirt and that little girl flexing. Seen it live. I thought it was brilliant. But I don't know how many times that now Jackson has his name on that trophy.
7 times more than any other player.
So consistency, longevity as well has to go on the list of accolades. He's been great since. Well, he's been great all season, but Simon said about his numbers over the last 10, 12, 15 games, the amount of 1-goal games, the amount of shutouts. He's tied Besco now, joint overall second place for the club in shutouts with 22, 23 or something. So, statistics have backed up that he's been very good. Talked about it last week. He's given us a chance to win every night, and that's all you want your goalie to do, and he's been great.
Simon, a word on the January Player of the Month, Jackson Whistle.
I said it the week before last, even before the last weekend of January, I think it was, that if anybody didn't vote for him for Player of the Month, they're not watching the right game. He was absolutely outstanding for us, fantastic, and he's developed and changed his game over the years. When he first came in, he was sort of a scrambler, and he made the dramatic save and timely and a lot of times, but he's more about positioning now and realizing that he doesn't need to dive about as much as he used to. He used to be flamboyant and jumping about, but I really, really enjoying watching Jackson this last couple of seasons, and he's went in there and he's made that net his own, and it's difficult where you try and bring him. Obviously, we brought Jake Kupsky in. We want to try and get competition going and get guys really up for it. This is an important stretch, and Guildford let Jake go, and Adam just felt, what, let's bring somebody else in here and let's try and get a spark on everybody. And you want players competing against each other to have the opportunity to play next game. And you want whoever's hot is going to play. So it's been a really good month for Jackson, and fully deserved, in my opinion.
Yeah, congratulations to Jackson Whistle. Like you say, 7-time winner of the Aviva the Bridge Player of the Month award. Congratulations to him. Right. Let me see. So quick run through of the standings in the Elite League. Belfast Giants, as we said, are top of the league, 36 games and 58 points. 4 points ahead of the Cardiff Devils, who have played 1 extra game. Nottingham Panthers, 36 games, 52 points. We will face them in 2 games away from home this very weekend. Sheffield Steelers are hot in their heels, 37 games, 51 in 4th. Manchester Storm, 8 points back, 43 points. Coventry Blaze in 6th with 40 points. Guildford Flames 7th, 39. Glasgow Clan 36 points in 8th, and then the Dundee Stars and the Fife Flyers with 21 and 18 points respectively. Belfast Giants have the game away at Coventry this tomorrow night. It's at 7:30 p.m. at the Sky Dome. If you're not making it there, you'll get it with Stu and Ed on Blaze TV before they travel over to the NIC against the Nottingham Panthers for 2 big games in the league. This is a tough week, Davy.
It doesn't get any easier because I think the following week we have maybe away to Cardiff on the Friday and another. So a lot of travel, which upsets your whole pattern for your sleep and your eating and your practice. And, but as we said before, 6 weeks of graft. The boys have got themselves in an unbelievable position. And if they put it in for 6 weeks, this team could reap rewards. Nobody could say that they don't deserve it. But, yep, you can only play what's in front of you in the next 24 hours. Very difficult trip to Coventry Blaze. Got to come home with something to protect, something to play for in the second leg. Very, very seldom is a Challenge Cup semi-final won in the first leg, and we know that, having gone with big leads in the second leg. So, it's about making sure the second leg there's something there. And the prize at the end could be astronomical. So let's not pretend that we don't really, really want to win this trophy. We want to win every piece of silverware going. So, it starts tomorrow night.
Adam Keefe said it himself in the post-game interview after Coventry. He says we're in for everything. We want everything.
That's just his mentality. There's no point in coming in and just going, I just want to take part. That's not what we're about. We've shown we've been successful over the years. Players are coming to Belfast to be successful. Adam is, that he just drums it into him early on in the season. And ultimately, you'd love to win 3 trophies every single season. That's not always possible. We've been lucky enough over the last number of years to be successful. And winning the first one, which we've got an opportunity here now to get to the final over 2 games against Coventry in the next 8 days. It's that's a big card to dangle in front of these players. And obviously, Nottingham and Sheffield is never. Whoever wins that, if you do get to the final, whether it's us or Coventry, it's not going to be an easy game either. So, let's concentrate in the first game. We'll talk about it tomorrow night against the Coventry Blaze in Coventry, and it's all about focusing, giving it your all for tomorrow night, and hopefully coming out with something that you can take into the next game, and over the 2 games, hopefully you can be successful.
Absolutely. It's going to be an entertaining week nonetheless. Before we get into any other business, Simon, just a quick, the tickets went on sale this week for the 3 Ice World Cup at the SSE Arena that takes place on the 4th and 5th of July. We haven't actually spoken about this interview from the bridge yet, but it's basically a professional ice hockey league built around 3-on-3 format with 2 8-minute periods of continuous play. And we'll be having the GB, USA, Canada, Sweden, Finland, Switzerland, Germany, and Austria, with the GB team being coached by Adam Keefe. 4th, 5th July in the summertime. We did have, when we had Robert Fitzpatrick on earlier this season, he did say there would be summer ice and he wouldn't tell us what it was. This is obviously what it is. It sounds like great crack.
Yeah, I was sitting right beside Glover today. He was on a video call with the guys from 3 Ice today, and we're sort of putting the whole project together, and it sounds fantastic, and getting to watch it close quarters. Now, Steve's put a lot of hard work in behind the scenes, obviously, and Robert was talking about earlier, and it's been announced now. When you look at the coaches, Ken Danico for Team USA, Larry Murphy for Team Canada. There's going to be others announced very soon as well, and obviously the biggest one, which is Adam Keefe. And when you look at the rest of the players that are, anybody in Team GB, they're going to want to be a part of this competition. It's got something there which everybody loves about a 3-on-3 hockey for overtime, and this is not going to be any different. So it's something that we're really looking forward to. Tickets have gone, we're over where we thought we'd be after 3 days.
Brilliant.
Or 4 days. So, we thought it might be a difficult sale. You put them on sale at that time of the month, leading into, the first pay packet after Christmas. But when it gets closer to the date itself, we feel it's going to be a really, really positive uptake on the tickets they're going to be on sale. So hopefully it's well supported. We've got a real opportunity here to have something for hockey during the summer in years to come as well. So, we never know where it's going to end up. We'll be the first again outside North America for this type of tournament. We always like to be first. So we'll wait and see where it ends up.
It's an interesting prospect, Davy. The game one is USA against Canada. Then Sweden against Finland, Germany against Austria, and then Switzerland against GB. And then the second day is basically the semi-finals, the third place, and the World Championship game. As a bit of a sort of summer hockey, bit of entertainment, it sounds like something exciting.
Yeah, and whether we like it or not, whether we like to go back to 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3 overtime, as this is basically big overtime sessions, just it's opportunity after opportunity. There'll be goals, there'll be excitement, and hey, hockey in July, why not?
Why not? Absolutely. Did
you any of watch it when I was on? Sorry for interrupting, Paddy. Did you watch it when I was on TV last year or the year before?
No, I'd missed it. I didn't realize about it.
So Bobby Farnham played. Last year, either the year before or 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. But we all, we were sitting watching in my house, and Bobby was ranting and raving about how good it was. And there's a big prize at the end of it. Like it's got the opportunity there. Some players can be very well recompensed for it. Don't know which way it's going to work out in the end from me or Three Ice side of things, but it's fantastic. It's so quick. 8 minutes. You've no basically time to wait for puck drops every single time. Just keep it going. It's all about speed and trying to get through the game and with two lines or you're on and off the ice very, very quickly. It's something that you're going to have to pay a lot of attention to. Keep your eye on the puck at all times, and we'll see. I see how the tournament ends up, but I'm something there that hockey fans should be getting hold of for the first week in July for sure.
Absolutely. The day pass tickets are on sale right now, and you can. That's on the 3rd and 4th of July of this year. Three Ice World Cup in Belfast. Any other business, boys?
I have one thing, Pat. If you don't mind me jumping in.
Right on.
Massive thanks to everybody for their contributions, and whether we're short or I don't know how much people put into it, or many tickets were bought for the shirt off the back, or whatever it was. But for the air ambulance, the amount given the air ambulance, I think was just announced at 19,795.
Just under 20,000. Yeah,
our fans are absolutely phenomenal, and that's going to help everybody out there in the Northern Ireland Air Ambulance. And I know they're very, very pleased and thankful for the support that they were showing. So thanks to everybody that bought, whether it was pucks or contributed in a bucket collection or bought merchandise. The merchandise that they bought on the night itself off the Northern Ireland Air Ambulance, I'm pretty sure was on top of that as well. So a very, very positive night for Ireland Ambulance back in November, and massive thanks to all Giants fans who contributed.
Yeah, it was a brilliant charity to go for, and no doubt, as always, the Belfast Giants fans and the people in attendance were as generous as they always are. I see they announced the weaker weekend, the game against Sheffield. That looks quite fun as well.
I haven't seen what was announced, so I don't want to give anything away. I sort of catching up on social media after being away for a week, so I don't know what was announced.
It's a giant celebration of all things local, from exclusively themed jerseys to Northern Ireland comedians and more. And it seems that the whole logo is things like little things at the back, Belfast or known phrases such as pure melter or
that's
what's
you.
The crack, or mate,
pure melter.
Don't know it, mate. Don't know it.
Do you know what? I don't want to. I know what's happening. I don't want to add to it at the minute. Maybe for next week's podcast, but it's I'll just let it stew there at the minute, because again, there's a few things that need to be sorted, and I don't want to give anything away, so I'm saying nothing more.
let's leave it at that then. 3 games for the Belfast Giants in the next week. Again, the Challenge Cup semi-final first leg against the Coventry Blaze, which takes place on Wednesday night 7:30. If you're not making the trip over, you'll get that on Blaze TV. And likewise, the 2 games Saturday and Sunday against the Nottingham Panthers over in the Motorpoint Arena. And if you can join Jono and Greener, if you're not making the trip to Nottingham, you can get those on Panthers TV. Gentlemen, a pleasure as always. Big thanks to Bo Hanson, to Jake Kupsky, and to Elijah Barriga for coming to join us on this week's show. Welcome back off holiday, says. Good to see you. You can get us at AVFTB on Twitter. You can get us on Facebook, Instagram, and all those normal sort of places. And that's it for us. Wherever you are this week, we hope you enjoy your hockey, and we'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.